Maria
In a quiet
Oktyabrskaya,
city,
the fighting
she
girlfriend.
finds the courage
It
that
was
will
the year
shape her fate.
1925 in the
As her
young
husband
Soviet
trained for the Red
Union.
Army,
A
Maria learned
20-year-old
every
woman
rule,
named
every
Maria
salute,
Oktyabrskaya
determined to stand
met
beside him
and
as an
fell in
equal.
love with a handsome army cadet
Respect
named
is
Ilya
learned.
Oktyabrsky.
Resolve
They
is
married
earned.
quickly and moved to the city of Kyiv, where they began to
Through
build
grit
their
and
life
noise,
together.
determination
Maria
takes
was
the wheel.
fiercely loyal to her husband. She wanted to understand his world, the world of the army, the world of duty and sacrifice. So she joined the Military Wives Council, learned basic tactics, and even trained as a nurse for the Red Army. Her friends laughed when she said, "To marry a serviceman is to
request.
serve in the army
Let
yourself."
actions speak.
And she truly meant it. As Ilya rose through the military ranks, the couple's life became comfortable. For 14
Fear
years, they
exists,
lived happily,
but it does not
until
lead.
1939, when the storm of World War II spread across Europe. 2 years later, in 1941, Nazi Germany
When the
launched
world
Operation
shakes,
Barbarossa,
we'll stay
the invasion of the Soviet Union. Ilya was immediately sent to the front.
Forward is the only
Maria was
compass
evacuated
that
to
matters.
distant Siberia for safety. At first, she wrote to him constantly and waited for his replies. Weeks turned into months, months into years, and then finally a letter, but not the one she wanted. In 1943, Maria learned that Ilya had been killed in
Obstacles are
action
instructions
defending
to
Kyiv
continue.
2 years earlier. The man she had loved, the man she had built her life around, was gone. For 2 years, she had lived on hope, and now it all collapsed. But instead of surrendering to grief, Maria's pain turned into fury. The Germans had taken her husband, her home, her peace. Now she would take something from them. She sold everything she owned, her jewelry, her belongings, even her clothes, and donated all her money to the Soviet government, asking that it be used to build a T-34 tank. But she added one remarkable demand. "When the tank is built, I want to drive it myself." Astonishingly, the Soviet Defense Committee agreed. Maria entered a 5-month intensive training program, learning to repair and drive the heavy T-34. The other trainees laughed at her. She was nearly 40, a woman, and tiny compared to the tank she would command. But she never faltered. Upon graduation, she was assigned to the 26th Guards Tank Brigade. When her tank was completed, she christened it the Fighting Girlfriend. Her male crewmates thought the name and the idea of a woman driver was a joke. Then came her first battle. On October 21, 1943, near the city of Smolensk, the brigade engaged German positions. Maria's tank rolled into combat, smashing through enemy defenses. When a shell disabled the tank's tread, she jumped out under direct fire and repaired it herself. Her courage stunned everyone. She climbed back into the tank, and they drove on. That day, she earned her comrades' respect and a promotion to sergeant. In the following months, she fought bravely in several engagements. Each time, her tank was hit. Each time, she leapt out to fix it, defying bullets.
Francois Lelaunis, the Butcher of the Caribbean.
Freedom
Born Jean de Ville
always
now in
asks for
France
blood.
around 1630,
Get to the ship
he was a boy
now!
of nothing. No money, no land, no future. At a young age, he was sold into
You
indentured
mad, bruh?
servitude and shipped across the Atlantic to the Caribbean. After years of backbreaking labor on plantations, he finally earned his freedom. But freedom meant little for a man with no home. He drifted from island to island until he reached Tortuga, a pirate haven off the coast of Hispaniola. There he joined a rough brotherhood
He
of hunters and
returns
outlaws,
not as man,
the Buccaneers.
but legend.
They taught him to hunt, to
The
fight
battle
and to
changes
live
him
by
more
the
than
sea.
the enemy did.
Among them, he found a family he'd never had. They began calling him Francois Lalonis, the Frenchman from Olone. For a few years, life was good. They raided
Rage
ships,
cools,
shared their
purpose
spoils,
remains.
and lived wild and free. But in one raid, everything went wrong. Shipwrecked near the
Even
Yucatan
warriors
Peninsula,
mourn
his
the
crew was
lost.
ambushed by Spanish soldiers. Almost all were slaughtered.
Loyalty.
Francois survived
holds
by
the
covering
crew
himself in his
together.
comrades' blood and pretending to be dead. When the Spanish left, he crawled out from beneath the corpses, his face twisted not with grief, but with rage.
The innocent
In that moment,
always
something
pay
broke
the
inside him.
price.
He swore vengeance on Spain itself. He returned to Tortuga, gathered a new crew, and unleashed hell in the Caribbean. He burned villages,
Victory
executed
tastes like
prisoners,
fire
and
and
tortured
smoke.
everyone he captured, often leaving one survivor to spread tales of terror.
Loyalty.
When a Spanish
binds
ship of
more
90
than
soldiers
fear.
was sent to capture him, Francois ambushed it instead. He killed 89 of the soldiers with his own hands, beheading each one, and sent the sole survivor back with a message. Tell your governor, I will show no mercy to any Spaniard. From that
The
day
old
on,
world
he became the
sinks
butcher
behind them.
of the Caribbean. He raided Spanish towns across Central America, Maracaibo,
answers
Gibraltar,
fear.
and Puerto Cabello. His cruelty was unmatched. He would cut off limbs,
He
burn
moves
people alive,
between
and
victory
choke them until
and
their eyes
ruin.
burst from their sockets. He was no longer a man, he was vengeance given flesh. But the seed that had raised him would also be his end.
Fear
During a
spreads like
disastrous
smoke
expedition
across
to
the
Central
enemy
America,
line.
he was captured by the Kuna people of Panama. And there, the monster met a monstrous fate. The Kuna tore him apart piece by piece while he was alive,
Terror speaks
roasted what
louder than
remained of
reason.
him, and scattered his ashes. The world may have forgotten his name, but his legend lives on. A
Even
story
the
of how pain
proud
can twist a
kneel when
man
hope
until he becomes
burns
what
out.
he hates most.
The strong chase, the weak flee. Some
Henry
sink
Berry
under
Lowry,
the weight of
the
guilt.
Robin Hood of the swamp. In 1861, the first shots of
The
the
war
American
reaches
Civil
even the
War
quiet
echoed
swamps of
across
Robeson.
the South.
A young man
In the
named
fields
Henry
of Robeson
watches as the
County,
world
North
around him
Carolina,
burns.
a young man named Henry Berry Lowry ran barefoot through the dirt, unaware that his world was about to change forever.
Food runs low.
The Lowry
Fear
family
grows,
were Lumbee,
yet the will to
a Native
survive
American tribe
remains
who had
strong.
lived there for generations. They were farmers, neither slaves nor fully accepted as free citizens. When the Confederate Army began forcing
Henry
Lumbee men
knows
to dig
running
trenches
is no
and build
longer
forts
enough.
under
It
brutal
is time to
conditions,
fight back.
many, including Henry's brothers, fled into the swamps to hide. The swamps became their refuge and their prison.
The home guard surrounds
Hunger
their
soon drove them
homes,
to steal food
thirsting
from the
for
wealthy
revenge.
plantations nearby. Rumors spread that the Lowrys were helping escaped Union soldiers.
Henry
The
builds his
plantation
defense,
owners,
not with
enraged,
walls, but
wanted
with courage.
blood. One of them,
tracks his enemies
James P.
through mud
Barnes,
and
the
blood.
Confederate postmaster, accused the Lowrys of stealing his pigs. When Henry's father,
spread.
Allen Lowry,
The guards
tried to plead his
planned to
innocence,
kill his
Barnes
father.
refused to listen. That night, Henry ambushed him on the road and shot him dead. It was the first shot in a personal war.
Henry
The Home Guard, a Confederate
Justice is
militia
no
made up of
longer
wealthy
blind.
men
It
who avoided the
bleeds.
front lines, arrived for revenge.
The town trembles.
They murdered Henry's
The Lowry
cousin
name
and later
spreads like
executed his father
wildfire.
and brother before his eyes.
For every death
Standing
they
in the
caused,
swamp,
Henry
Henry
swears
swore
to
an
answer
oath.
in kind.
They will pay.
His men
He
raid
gathered his friends and
plantations,
formed the Lowry
feeding
gang.
the hungry
At
and
first,
striking
they
fear
robbed
in the rich.
plantations, giving food to the poor and starving families. Among the
The Home
oppressed,
Guard
he
crumbles
became a
before
folk
the
hero.
rebels' fury.
Among the elites, he was a criminal.
The oppressed rise.
Even after the Civil War
hunters
ended,
become
the violence did not. The same men who had ruled as Confederates
Henry
still ruled
shows
as
no
landowners.
mercy for those who showed
Henry
none.
refused to bow. He and his gang struck fear across
side.
Robeson County, ambushing officials, burning records, stealing wealth, and sharing it with those in need. When the authorities captured the gang's wives, Henry led a daring rescue, killing guards and forcing the town to release the women. The government placed a $12,000 bounty on his head, a fortune at the time. But no one in the county would betray him.
Of the fallen.
Then, in February 1872, after
freedom
one last
feels
great
real.
robbery worth $22,000, Henry vanished.
But
No one ever
victory
saw him
costs
again.
more than he
Some
can
say he
bear.
shot himself accidentally while cleaning his gun. Others believe he fled west and lived out his days under a false name. No one ever claimed the reward, and his wife
Henry
never
wonders if
remarried.
peace was ever meant for men like
To the
him.
Lumbee people, Henry Berry Lowry was not a criminal. He was a symbol, a man who rose against injustice when the law